Hey everybody, I'm Joe, and I've seen a lot of movies. This is Matt, and he's hardly seen any movies. With so many movies that are part of our culture, it's our duty as movie fans to bring this culture into Matt's life. So every week we pick a list of movies for you to vote on and help decide which movie Matt will watch next. Because every movie on this list is a movie he's never seen before. Which movie will you vote for? Which movie will win? So stick around, fellow movie watchers, for this week's Christmas movie of the week. Hey everybody, welcome back to Christmas Movie of the Week. We have a pretty unique list for this week. We have some action movies and also classic Christmas movies. Now some of these action movies are debated on whether or not they're actually a Christmas movie. We're just gonna go ahead and say yes for all of these since they do take place during Christmas time. However, to balance out the week, we're gonna throw in some classic Christmas movies. Yes, those old school black and white ones your grandfather used to fall asleep to on the couch watching. Last week we had some Christmas comedies and the Rankin Bass animated films. Elf was the winner in its poll, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had won for the animated movies. Now, I've never been a big fan of the movie Elf. I always thought that Will Ferrell was just a little bit too over the top. However, I've never actually sat and watched the movie from beginning to end. I've only seen bits and pieces here and there. So last night, in the name of science, I actually sat and watched the movie from beginning to end, and I will say it is better than I expected. Having only seen parts here and there, I will say that the sum of this movie is greater than its parts. There are a couple of cringe moments where Will Ferrell was just a little bit too over the top. I know that he was raised as an elf, however, none of the other elves act as over the top as what he does. Plus, I felt that the movie was a little short. It was about 90 minutes long. It could have had a little bit longer runtime to help develop some of these characters. Felt like some of them just developed a little too quick. Overall, I think the movie was pretty great. I would give it 4 out of 5 calling birds. Those are my thoughts on last week's movies. Of course, we're here to see what Matt thinks about the movies. However, it's Sunday morning. He hasn't watched them yet. I'm still waiting for him to get through both movies.
So Matt finally finished both movies. Let's hear what he had to say about it. Hey everybody, I watched Rudolph yesterday. Here's my take on it. I've lost count the number of times I've heard the songs from this movie. They are classics, to put it concisely. The movie is no different. Its stop-motion animation holds up quite well for a film that's 60 years old, and its characters and plot remain vibrant and engaging. Particularly so in the case of Hermie the Elf and his interactions with the elf boss, who yells at Hermie so much that I almost expected him to ask Hermie if he could suck a golf ball through a garden hose a la Full Metal Jacket. Rudolph doesn't get off much easier, but both characters prove their worth despite their misfit title. With a little help from Yukon, the coolest prospector ever, and managed to save Christmas for all. Favorite character? Yukon Cornelius. Rating? 4 out of 5 antlers. As for the movie Elf, thought it was pretty good. Wasn't quite sure what to expect from this movie. I've seen a number of Will Ferrell films, and his brand of comedy didn't strike me as the family-friendly Christmas type. He doesn't disappoint in this movie though, and the juxtaposition of his overly happy character against James Caan's serious and formal tone is fun to watch. Totally understand why people say this is one of the better Christmas-themed movies. Favorite character? Mr. Narwhal. Favorite scene? The exclusive amateur footage of Buddy walking through Central Park like Bigfoot. Rating? 4 out of 5 Central Park horsemen. Thanks a bunch, Matt.
But now it's time to see what we have in store for this week, so let's not waste any more time and jump into this Christmas Movie of the Week list.
It's Christmas time again and John McClane is back. Only this time he's not battling terrorists in Los Angeles, he's battling terrorists in Washington, D.C. A rogue military group takes control of the airport and there's only one person who can stop them. John McClane, Die Hard 2. It's Christmas time again and Michael Keaton is back. Arguably the best Batman ever. Only this time his adversaries have doubled when he takes on Catwoman and the Penguin. This is the exciting sequel to the original Batman, Batman Returns. The next movie on the list is Gremlins. A young man receives a cuddly creature for Christmas, however, there are 3 specific rules that he is not supposed to break, which he immediately breaks, causing the original Baby Yoda to spawn a bunch of creatures called gremlins that run amok throughout town. The final Christmas action movie that we have on the list is Lethal Weapon, one of the original buddy cop movies starring Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, who play Riggs and Murtaugh, 2 cops paired up where one is getting too old for this shit and the other one is just plain crazy. The next movie on the list is the 1951 version of A Christmas Carol, originally titled Scrooged. This is a retelling of the classic Charles Dickens story about Ebenezer Scrooge, a curmudgeonly miserable businessman who has no time for sentimentality and largely views Christmas as a waste of time. However, this Christmas Eve, he will be visited by three spirits who will show him the error of his ways. The next movie on the list is the 1947 version of Miracle on 34th Street. After a divorced New York mother hires a nice old man to play Santa Claus at Macy's, she is startled by his claims to be the genuine article. When his sanity is questioned, a lawyer defends him in court by arguing that he's not mistaken. The next movie on the list is It Happened on Fifth Avenue. A homeless man who every winter moves into a mansion on Fifth Avenue owned by the second richest man in the world decides to share the mansion with a recently evicted Army veteran who's living on the streets. The final classic Christmas movie that we have is the 1954 movie White Christmas. Now, if you've ever seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, saw this scene and wonder what Clark was talking about,
we're gonna press on, and we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye.
yeah, he was talking about this movie. The film is about a successful song and dance team becoming romantically involved with a sister act and team up to save the failing Vermont Inn of their former commanding general.
So those are the movies that we have for this week's list. Which one were you going to vote for? Which one do you think is going to win? Personally, I kind of feel like Die Hard 2 may take the win on this one, given how popular the first Die Hard is. The most controversial one, given that people always debate whether it's a Christmas movie or not. Matt has already seen Die Hard 1, so Die Hard 2 would be a great follow-up on that. However, I'm hoping that Gremlins will be the winner of this week. The movie heavily involves Christmas, however, it just puts a big spin on it by throwing some Gremlins in there. Plus, you also get Gizmo in there, which is pretty much just Baby Yoda with hair. As for the second category of classic movies, kind of anyone's guess. I do like Miracle on 34th Street. I always thought that was a great take on the Santa Claus story. However, it's kind of hard to top the Christmas Carol movie with Ebenezer Scrooge and the ghosts and the three ghosts of Christmas past, present, future. That movie has such a great message, and I kind of feel like it's a must-watch over all the other ones. But it's up to you guys to vote and see which movie Matt's gonna watch next. So that's all the time that we have for this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to vote. And we'll see you next time here on Christmas Movie of the Week.